Ofelia, it's been several years since your adventure with your sisters. Things have changed drastically in Aelia since then. There are now more witches than you could ever have imagined. And yet, things have not changed so much for you, at least not as much as you'd like. During your trials, you made an incredibly consequential decision. Not only that, you acted. At Hadari, you ended a man's life in cold blood. Yes, he was working for the church. Yes, they were kidnapping children, and, as you later deduced, feeding them to the Guardian in order to power their operations. But when you slit his throat, he was alone, afraid, and trapped. This decision, and moreover, this action, blackened your soul. The price you paid was wickedness, and you have not yet returned from this dark place. So now you return to Hadari, the Island of Storms. While the other shrines are being restored all over the continent, this one remains unattended and untouched. How long has it been since you were last at the Island of Storms, at the Calyx? And why have you come now to restore the Shrine of Chaos in the hopes that it will restore your own soul?
It's been not too long, actually. It's been 5 years. Those couple of years I took to recover, to make sure that the newly awakened witches, helping just organize which witches go where, who they should see. And I think just going through my own personal grief, because everything just happened so quickly. But also, thinking about those people that I ended up having to kill. I think I was very interested in talking with Naya's dad, especially since his patron was the god of death. And I think there's guilt. I think that's why I ended up coming to the Shrine of Chaos, because there's all of this turbulence that's still within me. And after processing, there comes a moment when you need to make a decision. And I think coming to the Shrine of Chaos is me now physically confronting that chaos that's been inside.
Before you go to the Shrine Cave, do you visit that other cave, the one where the cage was? The one where you had him trapped?
I think I do. I do.
It's only been 5 years, and they didn't clean before they left. You can see the wreckage of the cage where the Guardian came through. You can see the bloodstain that was left on the cave floor. What are you thinking as you see it there?
I feel like a ghost amongst ghosts. My fingers sort of trace the cave walls, trying to remember that night. I think I go to the cage next, and I just sort of peer inside. The first thing I notice is that the rust itself also looks like bloodstains to me. And I was never one to be afraid or shy of blood, but I think the reminder of the spilt blood, I think, makes me pause a bit before I go to where I know the guard was. I kneel and I just sort of place my hands where the blood stain was. I don't know why, I don't know what for, but as I touch the ground where the blood is, I think I'm surprised at the fact that I'm sad about what had to happen, but as of yet, I'm also not sorry for what I had to do. And I think I just whisper to myself, you were just doing your job. I was just doing mine. But I hope whatever afterlife you're in, I hope it's the one you deserved.
That lack of remorse, that is the strand that you feel tugging you into the Shrine Cave. Minerva, Every time you enter the underworld, you risk your soul. It's the burden of witches, managing the balance between natural and supernatural, mortal and magical. Possibly against your better judgment, you've accepted a task from Lorelei, the fading goddess of the sea, whose shrine rests in the cliffs under Wadera Fortress. In return, she'll rein in Cleator, a demon of her realm, loosened upon the world by none other than you, in an effort to save the mortal kingdom under your care. She asked you to find something important to her. She called it the Heart of the Sea. Long ago, an enterprising witch collected a book that made its way into your library, which described this mythical artifact. With visions of glowing sapphires, you've traveled north, through the Umber Hills, to another entrance to the underworld. This liminal space stretches before you, a rolling badlands under the ceiling of a cave so tall that it may as well have its own stars. Framed by a constellation you don't recognize, you see a tall doorway to a stone shrine. Even though you know your task lies much deeper in the underworld, something draws you to this strange place. In all your long years of witchcraft, some spark of curiosity keeps you moving forward in search of new knowledge. What is it here that piques your curiosity and entices you to stray, perhaps dangerously, off your path?
She has these dreams that come to her, and frequently they've been coming a little bit stronger in this idea of another world, a very kind of a dark, cavernous world. The dream ends at this point where there's something is about to reveal itself or open itself. So it's got a little shade of that in this place she finds herself now, with this door in front. She had previously in her life before seen this constellation that's not known to many. She finds that now overhead when she looks. And this, for her, is a sign that she's in the right place and she needs to investigate a little bit further. She knows that this might reveal something else. This has got a different atmosphere about it. Something new is unfolding, and it feels like something much, much older, something that comes from generations before. So she is intrigued, but she's also very wary. Everything she's doing, she has this sort of weight of saving the coven, and so she enters into this space. It looks like something from a ship, real heavy, sort of damp kind of wood that's blocking her way with rivets, extremely well sealed. So how she's going to get through it is her next challenge.
It's strange for Minerva to encounter this heavy, wet wood out here in these badlands in between the mortal realm and the underworld, because it's all rock and stone, and this heavy, heavy door is set in a stone frame. It's almost as if someone has taken something and retrofitted it. This wasn't original. Even if this shrine was old, and then someone came along still a long time ago and set this piece of wood in this doorway, glistens with a wetness that hasn't gone away even in this dry space. As Minerva considers this, what does she reach into in order to try to open this door, given that it seems to be layered histories?
She notices on one of the rivets is slightly bigger than the rest. It's got it looks like a kind of a globe inside it in this rivet. There's a bit of glass. So she goes to touch that, and when she touches it, it moves like a jellyfish, actually. And as she touches it again, it starts to grow and expand a little bit and seep through the wood. And the wood starts to buckle slightly as she pushes it a little bit more. And then from this jellyfish-like thing, it's kind of like tentacles coming through the grains in the wood and starting to burst through.
It's almost as if something was sleeping in it and you woke it up, and it shivers and moves, and as it moves, it seems like this, whatever creature, whatever strange entity it was that lived in this door, is disturbed by your presence, and as it draws away from you, it draws the splinters of its shell, and you realize that what had been holding this door closed was less a piece of driftwood and more a creature that had crawled in here and had taken up residence as a door. And as it slowly slithers away and the wood almost dissolves before your eyes, as this thing peels into the shadows, this dark entrance is standing before you.
When you look up, you see a figure looming over you. It's a feminine figure, and she has her face downturned. You do not recognize her, but she seems to have one shoulder towards you and the other stretching far behind her. You realize, yes, this is a statue, and you can feel the pull of your own curiosity leading you towards another mortal in this space, coming from the opposite direction.
Ofelia, you walk into this place. It's not a cave exactly. It feels deliberate. The walls of the cave arch up from dark into deeper darkness above you, almost like cathedral. In the center of this place, you can see a figure leaning toward you, larger than life. It must be a statue because it's frozen, and it reaches out. It's a masculine figure of some sort, but all you can see of it is one shoulder turned toward you, the other arm is reaching back, hidden by its body, and it's reaching out toward you. You become aware of another presence of a mortal or liminal soul similar to yours.
Naya?
Minerva, from far away across the cave, you hear the echoing call of another voice.
The voice isn't frightening. It's but as she moves towards this statue, her footing it's very, very slippy on the ground. So she's trying to lean against the walls and yet reach out to this statue more for stability. So as she hears this call, she actually at that point has grasped the hand of the statue, and she stands there and just hears this Naya echo around the space around her head. Takes a moment to process who this could be. There's something not threatening about this voice, but the name Naya doesn't mean anything to her. So she takes a moment as she holds this statue. She makes a sound, just a sound with her mouth, just ooh, just to see does anything come back.
The silence initially worries Ofelia because she thought it was Naya. Maybe that's why there was a pull. And for a moment, my heart was starting to beat so fast at the thought of perhaps Naya is here and she has the answer. But then when I hear the sound moo, hello? Naya? Is that you? Are you playing a joke right now?
Hello, who's there? Who am I talking to? I can't see. This is Minerva. Who am I talking to?
Minerva? Oh, I didn't know anyone else knew about this cave other than us. Friend? Or foe?
I hope friend. Can you make yourself seen?
It didn't take long for your senses to attune to this place. The light in the cave, what has been framing objects, is a subtle bioluminescence emanating from various surfaces. In this, you start to become aware as you step around to try to see who it is who's talking. You do see a figure moving with some life in them next to a statue, very similar to the one that you're facing. Each of these statues seems to be reaching toward one of the entrances. These two statues, while they reach forward, each of them with their hands away from each other, the other hands reach backward into something obscured. And this is perhaps what's making it hard to fully understand this space, is in the center of this space, in between them, their two hands disappear into, as of yet, an unperceptible magical aura.
think I found you? Minerva? Are you a witch?
Yes, I am. Are you?
Yes, sorry, yes. I am a witch. Sorry, I'm just also distracted by these statues. Like, have you seen these before?
No. I'm sorry, what coven are you with? Who sent you here?
I wasn't sent by anyone. I actually had come to this place before, not this exact cave, but just was going through my own sort of personal reflection and ended up coming here. Coven. I'm part of the Coven of the Green. At least that's what my mentor told me. What about you?
Yeah, I'm also from Wadera Fortress, the coven up there on the cliffs.
Have I heard of Wadera?
You have not. There's something about this person you're speaking to that feels unlike Alia to you. And not only do you sense that coming from this person, you sense it coming from this statue. Give me an Arcana check.
Okay, I got a dirty 20.
The strands that run through you send your senses along them, and you actually feel them cut off before they reach this other person. And that cutoff point is this statue. You can sense that while they may run through the statue towards the other facing this other doorway, it is in that magical void between them. That is where the strands that you are so familiar with end.
Whoa, sorry. Wadera. I've never heard of Wadera before.
I'm on also a personal quest here, but I'm just looking at these statues and I think they're trying to tell us something. Have you seen these before, or are they meaning anything to you?
Honestly, I did not even expect anything to be here. I had expected there to be a shrine. But no, it's just so weird. These statues feel like there's something missing. It's like they're in some sort of void. Do you get that feeling?
There's only 2 statues here, as far as I can see, and they seem to be facing in opposite directions. I just have this sense that I can't walk across to you. Are you feeling you can come towards me from where you are? I just feel like there's some kind of a block.
Let me see. I mean, if you're stuck, yeah, let me see if I can try to help. I move towards the statues and try to go towards where Minerva is.
Minerva still has her hand on the hand of one of the statues, but she feels like a force field in front of her as she tries to, penetrate this kind of force around her. It's not so strong, but she's a bit wary of it. There's definitely some reverb when she makes a little step forward.
As Minerva is trying to understand what are these forces that she's feeling, and she has her hand in this outstretched hand of this large stone statue, a couple of things occur to her. These figures are dressed in an older, symbolic way. Each of them seems to be dressed as a witch in this very, very old shrine. And shrines to witches are not unknown to Minerva, as they litter the forgotten corners of Fefelti. But the other thing that she realizes, one of the pressures of force that she's feeling as her hand is touching this stone, is that there is a warmth, a soul warmth coming from the stone, almost as if inside the statue there is a presence of a soul that seems to be locked within this rock.
This whole experience is something very, very old and very known and very intuitive to Minerva now. She feels very safe and everything seems to make sense as she rubs the hand of the statue and pushes with her left hand into this force field. Everything becomes softer. And it's almost like a speaking in tongues, that these sounds come to her and everything is starting to move, and suddenly this statue, the form of the hand becomes a little bit more human-like, but it's in almost like this, waxy grey skin, like a dead skin, if you like, is starting to form on the body of the statue.
Minerva, as you send your magic into the hand of this statue, as you reach your senses into it, into the living soul trapped within it, you recognize that the soul of this statue has been captured by the nameless thing that invented death. Ofelia, from your side of this barrier, you send your thoughts out along the strands of the web that lead into it, and you realize that the thing that binds you to this statue is a remnant of Tyos. You can feel the pull of order and sovereignty residing within the soul of this statue that you face.
Not again. Minerva, do you sense something off about the statues? I am sensing some sort of danger here.
Can I just ask, this old soul that's trapped in the statue, is this a dangerous thing, or is it it's a victim of the unnamed thing?
You have a sensation that the unnamed thing is wrapped around it like a glove. Whatever souls of whatever witches are represented by these statues are held or entrapped.
I feel like I can trust you. I'm sorry, what's your name?
Oh, right, sorry. My name is Ofelia.
Okay, Ofelia, where we are now, we are not in a very safe place. What I'm feeling now, you see the change in this statue? These are old witches.
You see, as Minerva works this small piece of magic across the hand of the statue to reveal it, you see that whatever it is that holds these souls within these statues is trying to resist, that it is pushing away. Between these two, there is some kind of secret or hidden thing that each of these witches grasp. Maybe you're uncertain if it's a source of their binding or if it is something that the binding is against. Each of their hands reaching into this darkness in the middle that the luminance of the creatures on the cave walls can't penetrate.
Do I sense that it's magic that's kind of resisting Minerva's magic? Is that what's happening, or does it feel something dimensional?
Yes, you sense something of a different dimension, of a different timeline. That is this void at the center, but that is what is familiar to you, is the void. Because when you fought Tyos, you realized that it wasn't order, it wasn't sovereignty, it wasn't the hubris of mortals that was really truly eating away at the web. It was the void trying to consume everything. And you had to call upon the magic of the other strands of the web in order to overcome Tyos when you fought him. And you think now that here you are, you entered the Shrine of Chaos. You came here hoping to remove this stain from your own soul, and you recognize within that statue that same stain. You made your own sacrifice of Borson's personal sovereignty. And here in this cave, in this shrine meant to honor chaos, you think perhaps it is that equal and opposite reaction to order. Perhaps that is what might be the magic that helps to release whatever it is that is binding all four figures, all four souls here in this cave.
As I'm processing this information, I'm gonna say out loud, I think it's resisting your magic, whatever it's doing, Minerva. I'm not exactly sure what you're doing, but I have a feeling that this is my fault. We'll figure this out, though. I think there's this void. I'm sensing this void. Do you see it on your side?
I don't see it, but I really sense it. I sense it. What, how is it linked to you? How do you feel it's connected to you? How is it familiar?
I don't know how it works in your world, but in ours, or in mine, there's these, I wouldn't say gods, but sort of these pillars of our universe, one of order, one of change, and one of chaos. My friends, my sisters, and I, we were trying to right the wrong of the church here, who was trying to enact order in all things. And long story short, or what I thought I was doing right, which was killing this one person, which I thought was bringing order, I was doing the same thing, and I think I enacted more chaos because it's all about equivalence. I'm sorry, and for dragging you into this.
You didn't drag me into this. I feel like we're both meant to be here for whatever reason. We are the ones who are meant to be here right now to solve this in some way. But I need a moment just to see how we can break through it and how we can let this unknown reveal itself to us. Have you any ideas? Have you any experience with revealing?
I might have a spell, but for us, typically, there's these strands of magic that we can sense and then we can pull, which might lead us to be able to fix this void. Can you sense the strands that I'm talking about?
I can, yeah, I can. I know exactly what you're talking about, but we need to find a way. There's something hidden very deep in this void, and we need to be careful not to go through it. But maybe if we can just try to walk around the circumference of it now, to just get a sense of where there might be a weakness in this circumference.
Minerva, as you begin to walk, you also start to prepare yourself for magic. And in your tradition, as you know, the magic that you cast, the real true magic, is changing a truth about yourself to change a truth about the world. And in this moment, you can reach into your sources of magic, and you can consider, what would you do to create, if you find a small flaw in this binding, what would you do to create an opening to allow this other witch to bring her magic into it?
Deep down, she has hope for the future. I think I would take this away. Let's go there. Let's go dark. And I feel this is the most frightening thing she's come against in her.
Wow.
Ofelia, it is going to take you and Minerva working magic together. So as she moves in this counterclockwise circle, you, almost without thinking, mirror. And the odd thing about it, as you move, is that it seems like the statues move with you.
Okay.
That's great.
Okay.
As you begin to walk this circle, creating this ritual circle around these statues with this other witch, one of the things that you've always held as a constant is the back and forth, the balancing and the struggle between the forces of the underworld and the mortal realms, and the balance that your role plays in it. And there's something about considering these witches who have been bound here by some obscuring forces, some of which are familiar to you and some of which are wholly and completely alien. And it makes you think about your trajectory, your dealings with the nameless thing that invented death, and all of the invitations that it offers you, and all of the struggles that your coven mates have with it. And you simply find yourself wondering where it goes. What is the outcome? Why do you struggle? And there's another level of your consciousness, the perhaps slightly more cynical witch in you, who says, here's a piece of doubt, a piece of me bubbling up that I can use and change. And you gather up that sensation, that fear, the hope for the future, the sort of desires, and almost snip it off from yourself. And in that change in yourself, the world around you flexes and changes subtly, and reality shifts. Ofelia, you feel this shift emanate from Minerva, the witch across the circle, who's engaged you in a ritual that perhaps you've never done before, but intuitively and instinctively you've stepped into. your feet fall into the pattern that they're supposed to. And as Minerva lets her piece of this magic go, you see clearly an opening. You can see the threads of this spell that weave this obscuration, this obfuscation of whatever key is in the middle of these bound souls, and you see your opening.
As I step into that walk with Minerva, after many years of doing this with new witches and with Naya and Emmett many years ago, it just something I settle into, that familiar cadence, that familiar feeling of community. And as we're circling around, and as that focus of binding of the strands becomes more clear, I reach down inward, and with the thought and the image of a surgeon removing a thorn or perhaps even a tumor from within the skin, I imagine these sort of circle of blades, thin, sharp. And as I open my eyes glow white as I cast Dispel magic. And I almost see the knife going through this bundle of strands that shouldn't be restrained.
As this knife of your spell cuts through, other awarenesses look into this cave. A billowing darkness starts to reach up around your ankles. A chilling touch starts to claw at your backs. From the ceiling of the cave, 1,000 upon 1,000 eyes open up, looking in, as if some great powers are suddenly seeing what you're doing here and want to stop you, but it is too late. The two of you together have worked a great magic in this moment. As Minerva's spell peels away the obfuscation of this binding, and as your spell, a knife cuts the tethers that bind these souls in this place, they rip open as if under a great tension, and between their hands you almost make something out, except the explosion of power and magic coming out of it is so bright and so blinding that across all of your senses you are blinded with white and static and sensation across your body as you're thrown out back into your own worlds out of this cave, your ears ringing. And the other thing that rings in the background is a voice, perhaps two voices, that whisper, "Thank you."
Their souls have been trapped and entombed by beings who seek to rule.
With what object are they bound together as they pull against the other equally and oppositely?
We cannot see.
That was Sara Purcell as Minerva and Annette Moran Lee as Ofelia. Sarah Brink and Jacob Wolf Lefton were the game masters. Sound design by Sarah Brink. This scene was produced for the alternate reality game Broken Sky, which was played over Blue Sky in July 2025 as cross-promotion for the Witches of Wadera Keep and Oops All Witches. This is a Dancing Stickman production.